My name is Oliver Queen.
Oh yeah, you're that guy from Arrow, aren't you?
After 5 years being stranded on an island, I have come home with only one goal. To hashtag make YouTube great again.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Why?
And I've seen your One Piece chapter reviews, and I have to say, they suck.
Okay.
And you need to make better content. And because you don't even talk about any of the story, and I don't even understand what the crap you're talking about the whole time. And so you need to make it better. Alright, see ya. He's a loser.
February, it's me, Shrugpod. Today I'm going to be delivering you a review for One Piece Skypiea arc. Now this is the third arc in the One Piece series, and so I've gone pretty far, and this is the start of the second box set, and so I thought that I might as well just start where it starts off. That makes sense. Anyway, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing just like last time. I'm not going to be talking about what happened back in Baroque Works, and I'm only going to be referring to the characters that have joined the crew or have helped out the Straw Hats in Skypiea. But, like I said in the discussions, I will come back to this arc later on. I'll discuss the different characters that I like and stuff that I don't. But, for right now, I'm going to be reviewing all the way from volumes 24 to volumes 32. So, here we go, guys. So the Straw Hats had just left Baroque Works, and after they had left, they were just lonely about Vivi, and they didn't know how to fill that gap. Until finally, they see that an intruder is on their ship, and none other than the Baroque Works agent, Nico Robin, shows up. Everyone was just kind of bored. But as they showed up, Robin explained to the rest of the crew that Luffy had saved her, along with Cobra, when the cave started to plummet in. So, she was really mad, said, I wanted to die there, but you made me live, so I'm joining your crew. And Luffy, being a moron, says this.
I see your problem. Guess there's no other choice. Welcome.
So, as we can see from this, Luffy's still a moron. He is still dumb. But, the rest of the story continues on as they see that their log post is pointed up towards the sky. Later on to the island, they arrive to a place called Jaya, where they receive information that there is a Sky Island, and that there's this myth about a man named Nolan the Liar, of which it all kind of intertwines, which I'll explain later. But the Straw Hats then make it to Skypiea, and when they make it there, they disturb the Kami, or the god as it is pronounced, or the god is translated. So, they disturb him, and war just ensues. It is now against the tribe of people who are trying to take back the land in Skypiea, the people who work for the Kami, his name is Inaru, and the Straw Hats. And of all of this, it is like a Hunger Games style war. The Inaru explains that there will be 5 people left after just 1 hour. And so, the entire arc is kind of just like a survival story. They're trying to find gold up on the Sky Island. While everyone has their certain goal that they're working towards, it's all just a survival game. And of course, it ends with Luffy in this big fight at the end. But this is an arc that I really had mixed feelings about. It's just, it started off really slow at first, but it started to pick up the pace towards the end. And so it was kind of a hard time to really like the pacing because you didn't know what pacing that the series wanted to be at. The middle part I really did enjoy, but at the beginning and at the end, the pacing was just so slow. And I absolutely hated it for that. And that's kind of what I've had a problem with these weekly chapter reviews. because if you watch them, you'll know that I've been complaining about the pacing. They don't know what pace to keep, and so what they do is they just kind of bore me to death. I don't like really slow chapters. I like fast-paced chapters. But it's just like, oh man, it was just so hard. It just took a long time for everything to set up, and I really did not like that. There were a lot of characters, but most importantly, I have to talk about Nico Robin, the newest member of the Straw Hat crew. She holds the power of the flower fruit, which means that she can sprout limbs from other parts of her body. So she can make a giant hand made out of other hands. That makes sense. Trust me, I'm on the internet. So, Nico Robin spent a lot of her time alone, and she is a lot older than the rest of the Straw Hat crew. She's an archaeologist, and she wants to find the pyroglyphs, or the poneglyphs, so that way that she can figure out the history of the world. And the rest of the characters consist of the people that we meet on Skypiea, such as Canis and Pagaia, as well as the 4 main bad guys that work for God Inaru. Satori, Shura, Gidatsu, and Om. I think that's it. And then we have Kami Inaru, as I have mentioned before, as well as we have the multiple tribe members such as Wiper, Rocky, Kamakiri, Genbo, and Bram. And then we have multiple other people who join the fray in the middle of this fight. And the characters, they do get a lot of character time in this arc. There's also a flashback to 400 years ago where we meet Calgara and Nolan, which I'll explain that in a later discussion who those people are. Now the art in this arc is something that I especially need to talk about. I feel like that it is the transformation from Luffy's kind of goofy rubber-looking form to more of a serious form. If you looked at Volume 1 compared to now, and I would say at around Volume 30, you notice that Luffy looks entirely different. He still looks like Luffy, but he just looks a lot different, like he's matured over this pirate journey of his. And I really do like how the art just keeps on getting better and better. And I really did like the art of this arc. It was really good, and it's something that later arcs of One Piece develop upon, and I really like it. Now, my final verdict of this arc has got to be a little bit lower than Baroque Works, because, like I said, there were a lot of characters, and some of the characters were absolutely swell characters, but then the story took so long to get into to actually meet those characters and actually start to like them, which is not something that I'm a huge fan of. And the art was actually really good, and I gotta give it props on that. But overall, if I had to give One Piece Skypiea my honest opinion, then I would have to say that it's probably a 7.5 out of 10. A lot of people probably don't agree with this, but it's probably one of my least favorite arcs. I just don't like it just because of the way that it paces its story, and that's a huge complaint that I have, because the story is a huge overarching thing, and it means so much to the entire story. It means so much to the entire just series, and so I'm real nitpicky about that. If you're interested in this arc, then I suggest that you pick up on the anime, which it's not as long as the bigger arcs like East Blue or Baroque Works, so that's pretty good. But if you are interested in reading it, however, and are a huge manga person, then I suggest picking it up either in the single volumes, which consist of volumes 24 all the way to 32. So that's 8 volumes, which is about $80 in North America. But if you want it in a better quality, then I suggest you buy the second box set, which has Skypiea and Water 7. And so I suggest that you get that. That's my requested way of getting that. If you like this video, then just go over to my friend Gear Third Manga Reviews. He also has a review of Skypiea on One Piece stuff, and you would really like him too. And also a huge shout out to Hot Redger Jr. He was awesome in that skit. I asked him this a little while ago to do that, and I finally came out with this video, so I'm really happy that this is done. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, then share it with your friends, put it on social media, and subscribe. See you guys in the next video.